So you guys on Instagram get a cool little feature where you can ask questions. You can ask questions right down there below, and I got my team here, and they'll be able to get all those questions over
It's so
to.
hot out in here.
Look at that! Look at He's got the speaker working this time straight out.
I can't hear Mike. I can't hear Mike.
Can you see me or no?
I can't hear it. I can't hear Mike at all.
You can't hear it, Mary. Huh?
What's going on here?
Do you want to remove and send?
Oh, man, this is crazy. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Bluetooth is either connected to something else.
Is there a Bluetooth that's connected? You want to write that?
No, he can hear you. Or he can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Hi guys, feel free to, as we're getting set up here, to ask as many questions as you want. Thoughts on Sam? On who?
No idea.
Is that like Tom Selleck's son?
No, he's a TikToker. He's Jack. He's like 20 years old. 21.
Let's see. I will take a look right now.
He's popping on TikTok right now. Him and a few others.
I cannot hear.
I don't think
I
I
can't hear his show. I don't know why. And I've got it on.
You haven't seen this kid? You see this kid.
But what's impressive? Pull up a picture of Lee Haney at 19, Teenage America.
Yeah.
Pull up the.
One is that he's relating to the young kid.
No,
I got you.
So him being
this never happened like this either. Usually, I don't think so.
Hey Luke, I just saw the kid. Looks jacked. Looks jacked.
Have him resend it to you. Yeah, Bluetooth.
Okay, so that turns all that off. If it was connected
I think-
to anything.
Regarding this question though, for me, you're gonna whoever the hype guy is, it's probably because he has a great personality. He's very catchy and stuff. Yeah. So I think that's probably what's going on. He's buffed and jacked, young and
he's good at talking.
good at talking and stuff. But as of size and stuff, you got to remember that. Who's that?
Haney. That's his high school senior photo.
Yeah, 17. Look at him at 19.
Lee Haney?
Mr. America. Right? Yes, sir. What is love? Just checking to see if there's any good questions here for you guys. Was that Tommy?
That was Tom, yes.
Okay. Hey guys, let me know questions here. Today's questions. I saw somebody say that they need a check-in. We'll probably get that check-in in next week. All right.
All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what.
I can hear you.
I can definitely hear you too.
You can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Ah, that's my guy. There we go.
We like. Man,
Was it what was it?
No. Every time I went off my cell phone and just put it on a tripod,
For you.
and I don't know why I wasn't getting audio from you on my cell phone. I don't know why. So I was like, let me bust out my computer.
I gotcha. Jeffrey, you can turn this now and ask your questions there. That's IG, and then we go TikTok for questions and stuff. Did you print out? Huh? Okay. All right. 2 more seconds, Captain.
How you doing, man? You doing good?
I'm reading questions.
Or you want to go that side? You're going to go both? Okay. I like it. Did you do a printout on percentage? Okay. Will you do a search on both of those that I asked, ED and men with ED, and then also men that are, what was the term I used? Libido, yeah. Low libido.
Arousal.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talk about that. And women with HSSD.
50
Hypoactive sexual disorder.
libido. What do you got for us? So 52% of men have ED.
Mhm. Yeah, 50%. That's a lot of people.
That's
One out-
I'm assuming that's an age though.
You want to know loss of libido?
Yeah.
So it says, according to AHS, it says that 1 in 5 men.
Okay, so it's not
experience
much.
some sort of loss in libido.
Okay. So that's a lot less.
And then these
Is that an age thing too?
yes, and then the one for ED it says 5 to 15% between ages of 40 and 70, or what that percent? So
40?
5 to
Okay.
15%.
All right. Well, okay. So we got some numbers here.
Pair that one up with, Mike, with whatever it is, with guys, right? All the problems say 50%.
Search.
And then you pair up 1/3 of women with HSSD. So that's hypoactive sexual desire disorder. So that means
So does that mean it's a good thing? It sounds like it's a good thing.
a horrible thing. That means hypo always means low.
Okay.
It's just, yeah. So at that point, they have no erotic desires whatsoever. They have no arousal, they have no libido. So they think that, hey, listen, my wife doesn't think I'm attractive no more. She doesn't want to have sex with me. And then it causes insecurities with the guy. And then at that point, this can cause them to go off and frolic around and get what they're not getting at home per se.
Right. Let me jump over to this then for a second. Because ED, it seems like that's a crazy percentage of issues with that. And is it always the same with the ED, with the symptoms? Is it always just a low testosterone, or is it other things that go into play for this?
I mean, it could go into a couple different areas. I mean, low testosterone, obviously, that could be, where the problem is, stemming from, right? But some people, as they're getting older, even, some of these younger guys that might have issues, they might have to take medications. These medications might cause the ED as well. So if you're on high blood pressure medications and such like that, you might have problems getting erections. Some of these guys are on blood thinners, high blood thinners. They've had strokes. Even look at Bronny James. kid's 18 years old, right? And, with him going into cardiac arrest, he's going to be on some different medications probably right off the bat to make sure he's good. But these things can affect, whether you're younger or older, depending on where your heart health is. And that could affect, how your erection can be. After that, it could be a mental thing. There are plenty of guys that become patients with Titan Medical Center that say, all right, my testosterone was low. This is probably what the issue was. They go on testosterone and they've had all kinds of different issues or symptoms. Those symptoms go away except for maybe the erectile dysfunction. And then we really start digging deep. And then when I get on the phone with a guy, or when I used to, I'd ask them the question like, hey, listen, all right, so are you with the same partner? And they say, yes. I've been married for 20 years, whatever it may be. So, okay, so here's a different question. With your wife, you're having ED, but if you watch any porn or anything like that, anything that gets you erotic, you might masturbate to. Or if you're getting the erection and you're getting off there, then there's some sort of mental disconnection.
Yeah.
Right? There's some sort of issue with you and your partner, and then you guys need to work this out. So whether, she's not doing what you want or you're just not having relations like we were talking about earlier, then that can stem a problem that could cause ED too as well. I mean, so there could be, you can know right away if it's.
Well, we can't fix people's relationships, so
Right.
it's like if that's part of it. I don't think we need to worry about that. That's them taking care of themselves in that sense. But I do want to say
it's
that
just they can get up and they can get off. At that
if they're still working and they're still up at bat for themselves, then that's a relationship issue. So I don't need to worry about that. But I did some research and I found that a lot of doctors, what they do is Clomid. For ED is one of the first things that's one of those things that they go to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Clomid, I probably wouldn't recommend for anybody out there. Just wouldn't do it.
Please tell me.
So Clomid was also, for our AdBac therapies when people are on testosterone replacement, we usually put them on AdBac therapy to make sure that their testicles don't go through atrophy. And there was a couple different options before, from ATG to Clomid, Kisspeptin, Gonadorelin. So these are all on the table, right? So when I took, because I tell you, I will take these regimens to know what I'm going to feel like so I can give my personal experience to a patient and say, listen, this is what I experienced. This is good. This is bad. I'm not going to say yes or no either way unless I go on myself and I try it. So I did the protocol for like 90 days. Took it, and at that point it was okay. But I started getting really deep, dark thoughts, right? And, things were out of my character. And I really started looking at it like, man, listen, I'm going to stop taking this medication. And that is one of the side effects if you look at it. So it does do this to a lot of guys out there. And then, a lot of doctors will try to put people on Clomid therapy right off the bat to try to get their test numbers up naturally, which
right.
Is right? And these guys get good numbers, but the side effects don't go away per se. Like they're still having symptoms, but their numbers look good. I've seen guys get up to like 700, on Clomid. But a lot of guys will get the negative side effects that go along with it. So it's not really a good choice. But in clomiphene,
that's just
same family,
keep going.
Same family, but a different molecular structure, right? Now this works very well, right? This does work very well with increasing testosterone levels, increasing semen levels. And at that point, it can work. We use it for our AdBac therapy for our patients with testosterone. So I took that one, and that's what I'm currently on. I switched between that and ATG. But that's a good one, and it does really well with the patients, and I don't have any negative side effects from either of the patients. So that's been a good thing. But that's a good one for guys.
That's probably a good thing then for somebody that's maybe at a younger age, maybe didn't have a doctor's prescription and did a lot of testosterone at a young age and caused some damage. And this is something that maybe they could do later on in life to kind of help them out again.
The younger guys also with SARMs, they shut down their production, and at that point, those guys need to get on something. And usually, listen, we treat patients 21 and up, but for 21-year-old guys, we're going to put you on a protocol more natural as far as that way to try to stimulate your own natural production because you're so young. So if you've done something like that and you need to help, we can help as far as that goes and put you on a clomiphene or maybe ATG to really stimulate it up and try to get your own natural levels.
I think that's awesome. I think that it's good that there's something for that, because I remember when I got out to, LA back in the late 80s, 90s, and all the everybody was monsters, but you know, it was, I saw the abuse at such a young age. And back then there wasn't guys like you. There wasn't these clinics that you can go talk to somebody and say, hey, I'm thinking about moving in this direction.
Right.
And one of my staff just showed me a young kid. Don't know which way he's going. Looks great. But again, he's influencing the world, and maybe they want to move in that direction. And like you said, SARMs just came out and it was on the market.
Yep.
And it was interesting to me because everybody kept asking me, and I knew nothing about it.
Yep.
Very little. Didn't look into it much either. But I did find out lately, and you just kind of talked about it again, is it has side effects.
Yes.
And so these kids that are going out there thinking that they can get something like that and get jacked and nothing will happen to them isn't so correct.
Right. So yeah, with SARMs, the select androgen receptor modulators, the science behind it, basically like you get all the benefits from androgen without any aromatization into estrogen, right? This was supposed to be a grail for a pharmaceutical company. Obviously, they dropped it, and that's kind of when it hit the black market, gray market. It's still out there. It's still getting produced, and I see it all over internet. And there's still younger guys taking it. And they take it because they think that, one, they can get it orally, so they're going to be able to get these gains orally without injecting testosterone. And they're not going to get the negative side effects of testosterone, which entails this has been false because they're getting the negative side effects. If you take it, you might get some gains. But what we've seen is liver toxicity. And then the other thing is the shutting down of their natural production. So, you know, if they want to crash, this is the way to go. And if you want to do some damage and stress to the liver, that's the way to go. You might get short.
It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like the way to go.
It's not optimal. I mean, there's guys that will throw in the mix here or there. And at that point, like, I'm just like, there's better things. Why? And then if you're going to go to this level and you're going to do this to yourself, then you might want to look at other options because, I mean, there's healthier ones I think that are on the table that will get you way better gains and be in the same risk category, I guess, to a certain degree. I mean, you know?
So let me circle back just so everybody's here with us. So we talked about ED and the percentage is so high with men. Now, I'm not going to talk about the mental side of this because me picking your relationship and all that stuff is out of my hands, but at least there is something that you recommend for those guys to at least go get their blood work done and see what's going on in there. Is there, and then the research I did was so minute relative to what you know. So again, there is something there to help them. Would be on, if their testosterone is in range, would this be still something that happens to the ED, or do they need to bump the numbers up? Where does that come into play?
So, we want to make sure that testosterone levels, both free and total levels, are good. If they're good, when I say good, you're maybe above 600, 650. You're on the higher end of average, normal, right? So, that's a good number for something that's very natural. If they're not natural and they're on testosterone, then I would say, listen, you want to get at least optimal. You're taking medication to get optimal, to get the best benefits of it. You should be at the higher end of the scale, 800, 900, right in there. At that point, you're going to get all the benefits of testosterone. Now, if you're still getting erectile dysfunction from that, if there's something else is going on in the mix, we might not know. So some of those guys do take advantage of ED medications. Some of it could be mental. Like I said, some people, they've been abused when they're younger, whatever it may be. So these things have lasting scarring effects on people going on through their life and some of the different things that go along with it. So I've heard and kind of seen it all as far as that goes. So, it just really depends on the person. But if they need it, absolutely. If they're having, confidence problems, because that's another thing that guys get. They get confidence problems. They might have no problem as far as getting an erection, right? They get an erection and they're hanging out at their house, whatever it is, morning wood.
And they got to perform. They ain't bringing it.
But you might have performance issues, and that's not ED. So if you can recognize that and you get this, and some guys, they get it and they're like, man, like, I don't have to think about it. I'm just going in there, rocking and rolling. Like, I had the best, sex ever. I think, I laid this girl out like, she wanted to be. And, I'm feeling like a superhero, like a true titan, right? And that's how you want to be. And we've got all different versions of these different medications, from ED medications like sildenafil or tadalafil, which is generic, and then active ingredient Viagra or Cialis. We have those in all different doses. We have those in a mixture together. We also put arginine in with sildenafil too as well, which is another vasodilator, more blood flow. So we call it Iron Man for full blood erection. You should be good to go as far as that goes if you want ultimate blood flow. And then PT141. So that's another big one. Bromelditide. So this is a peptide. And this peptide has already been FDA approved in 2019 for female libido enhancement, particularly for HSSD. So we were talking about hyperactive sexual desire disorder. So with this, females don't get arousal, they don't get any sort of fantasies. That strains their marriage, that strains their life as far as that goes, because that's another issue with them, insecurity. So this works by the nervous system, hitting the hypothalamus. Now it works on guys the exact same way. So some guys, right, with the ED medication, yeah, they can get up, but they still have the desire to go do.
Right.
So this is where that kind of crosses over. And if they don't want to take the ED medications, PT141, the injectable, you take it twice a week for maintenance. And at that point, you're going to get erections, and you're going to get the arousal, you're going to get mood enhancement. And this is another great peptide. I was talking about peptides. This is one that really needs to be to the forefront because, sexual relations with your partner is a big priority to a lot of people.
So is that a nootropic in a sense where it kind of triggers something in the mind as well?
Yeah, so it hits the hypothalamus, and at that point works its way through the nervous system.
I love that.
The erections and the libido action. So originally, so this was supposed to be a pharmaceutical for self-tanning. So yeah, so melanotan 1 and melanotan 2 are where this comes from, and those were pharmaceutical medications that they were researching for the self-tanning. So people that couldn't go outdoors and needed self-tan, they could do it, right, without getting skin cancer or anything else. Right. So this does work with that to a degree, but it does not turn you brown like the other one. Melanotan 1 and melanotan 2, we do melanotan 2 still as a peptide for patients. But the warning on that is that, yes, you will get tanner. If you go out in the sun, you'll get really tan, right? But the problem is that any spots that you have on your body that are brown will increase and enlarge. And like I told you, I'm always patient number 0. So at that point, I'm trying all these different therapies to let you guys know what was my problem with it. And that's one I had with it. I had little brown freckles, and they started getting bigger and started freaking me out. I'm like, no way, no how. I don't care about self-tanning. I want to get it, with some suntan lotion. And
you're Greek. You already got a good tan.
Yeah, so I got the olive skin anyway, but I want to make that bronze look. I can do it other ways.
So libido. Now, this is, to me, it seems different than libido would be, you're not interested, but also maybe you're just tired most of the day. You're just kind of ran down. Even though you get the good sleep, you're not energized. You're not pumped up. And again, I don't want to go into the mindset of maybe they don't got goals and passions and all that stuff. Again, we understand that could be a mislead. Oh, I definitely got low libido and all this stuff because I'm not motivated. Again, we would check blood work. We would check the blood work, and we would bypass that and say, no, that's not the point. You got to get some goals and stuff. But what is something that you look when it is their numbers are all good and healthy, but they're still ran down? And if there is a level to where you go, well, you're not optimal, because that's the question. Because most family doctors will look at these numbers and go, dude, you're 350, you're 400, you're fine, you're in range, so there's no problem here. But these people are still out there being, I just want to watch TV and do nothing all day. Yeah,
they're unmotivated, and that goes right along. It's a major symptom of low testosterone. And if you are above the range per se, so it's 264 to 916, and at that point, you're looking at that level and you're at 350 and the doctor's telling you everything's fine. Well, how do you feel, right? And that's what really matters. Do you feel fine? No, you don't. You're in here for a reason. That's why you're talking to the doctor. and they're not listening. They're not wanting to help you out in the ways that you should be helped out. And the reason is because most of these guys are doing something like that are going through insurance. And insurance states that they cannot get prescribed testosterone unless they have clinically deficient levels of testosterone. So you have to show that on a blood test, or maybe 2 for some insurance companies. So the doctor is not going to be able to write you testosterone. Some doctors, they don't care and they will write the testosterone prescription. And sometimes the prescription will get covered by insurance companies. Sometimes it won't get kicked back. So it really depends on the doctor, who it is, and most doctors are not going to write it. They're just not going to do it. Not if it's clinically okay, right? If you're right above the level, if the number's 264 and you're at 265, you're normal, but you're at the bottom of the barrel normal, and you have symptoms of low testosterone. So until you get those symptoms fixed, I mean, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to perform your best. You're not going to have the energy to do what you want. You're not going to have the motivation, the confidence that comes along with it too. I mean, you get all this from testosterone that people really don't understand, because it's not just testosterone, going to get you big.
Yeah.
Receptors in the mind for clarity of thinking. That's another thing that goes right along with it, how you feel about yourself.
I think the one thing I was seeing as I looked through social media and stuff, and the influencers, and I saw something yesterday, and it made me think, wow, that's some pressure on a lot of these guys out there. But you have a savage of a woman, and so do I, that continuously, there's no off button with these two. And you kind of have to match that. And so when I was watching this video the other day, she goes, listen, I need a guy. This lady was talking about, she needed a guy that would match her energy. And I see this, and I see these guys that come into the gym and they're not matching that energy. And so I'm just like, I understand that point.
Yeah.
But this is where I think it goes back to where you guys know much more than I do about helping these guys get to their optimum level and get their energy up to where they are true titans and living that full life and matching energy, if not surpassing energy. Right. I mean, that's the ultimate goal for, I think, anybody that's doing the health and fitness world. They want to be energetic. They want to be able to train. They want to look good. They want to be able to move and then perform in the bedroom. So for me, to you guys out there that are watching this right now, make sure to get over to Titan Medical and talk to the professionals. And I do want to take a minute real quick to talk about, I had my call with the medical provider. And I think one of the great things that was asked right from the front was, how's your diet? Because I think one of the things that I've noticed when I'm doing all this research and meeting people and companies and stuff, there's companies that just go right to the medication. It's just like the old school doctors. You go to a doctor, hey, this is hurting. Here, take the medication. Take the medication. Right. And I like that your provider, your specialist, let's see what the nutrition is like. What are you doing? How are you working out? What's going on here? Are you getting the rest? Are you taking the water? It was nothing about the company.
Right.
For a good 10 minutes, it was all about what kind of life are you living?
That's right.
And I thought that was really top notch for you guys. And it really sets you guys apart from other people that I've seen.
Thank you.
So that's just a shout out to you for setting up a company like you have.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, those are the major things, right? Those are the pillars. I mean, you talk about it every day. You got to keep jamming down people's throats, and people finally, maybe they'll catch on. If they do catch on, they're going to be way ahead of the pack. And this goes along with getting your results and feeling better, right? And our therapies are tools. But you have to use those tools, right? And if you use those tools to the best of your ability, you're going to be a craftsman at whatever you do. And you're going to be able to perform your very best and look your very best. And that's what we want for patients. Even if they're not going to become patients for long-lasting times, at least they'll take away that little bit, and maybe that will change their lives going forward. So that's a big part of it. We have to grasp that for patients that are coming in. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Jeffrey, you put down the link down here.
Yeah,
so you guys can see that. You guys, and then Jeffrey, you got questions for us?
Yeah. Regarding the low libido, what about cholesterol? Does that affect it at all?
Does high cholesterol affect low libido?
Cholesterol can affect that. I mean, if you're gunked up arteries, you're not going to be performing your best probably. Blood flow is not going to be its best getting down to the extremities. So cholesterol could play a fact. Cholesterol medication can do it too as well. So I mean, if you're on high levels of cholesterol medications can cause ED or performance issues as well. So it's something you need to talk to your provider about, see what else is going on, and then how your testosterone levels matched up with the high cholesterol or bad cholesterol. Because
Everything kind of works together in a sense.
to a certain degree, and if their testosterone is low, then you're going to get double whammy effect. At least if testosterone is high, I've seen guys with higher cholesterol levels or even lower cholesterol levels because they're on some sort of medication that's lowering cholesterol levels and HDL levels. So at that point, those guys still perform very well as far as in the bedroom, but inside it's not looking so good.
Wow. Okay. So that's a great question, Jeffrey. Thank you. We got another one?
Yeah, a lot of people too, they're curious about how can they travel with their medication? Is that something
Oh, that's
that
a good one.
they can take with them? Do
Yeah.
they leave it at home? How do they stay on track?
So that's a good one. I know you got the answer for this. So how can they travel with their medication?
Sure. So one thing right off the bat, everything is prescribed by a real medical doctor or nurse practitioner. So that is a real prescription from a U.S. licensed pharmacy. So it's in your name. You can travel with it wherever you want, as long as your medication's in the vial, okay, or your pills or whatever it may be. Now, when you talk about traveling, the other side of traveling is you might have medications that need to stay cold. I do this all the time. I travel everywhere. I travel all around the world. I've always taken my medications with me. If anybody knows me, they can look inside my bag. It's the bug out bag. I got medications for at least 2 weeks in my book bag at all times because I don't know where I'm going, when I'm going to be there, how long I'm going to be stuck there for. In my travel suitcase is where I would put my cold items. And I would get, they've got like these little Lunchable bags that you would do for your kid. You get a little ice pack and throw it in there. Put 2 little ice packs in there with your medication. It's going to be good for at least 48 hours to stay cold or cool enough where the medication is not going to have any disruption.
So again, it is medication. You do have a prescription for it, so you can travel with your medication. There's not an issue.
Yeah,
Just be smart with it. Just if it's got to be refrigerated, put some ice packs in there and travel. Like most of us travel with our food, same kind of thing.
Yep. Yes. And
great.
Most medications don't need to be cold, so at that point, it's very simple and very easy. And even with my bag, like I said, I had 2 weeks worth of medication, so I carry like about 200 insulin syringes at a time. And I've never been stopped by TSA, never been checked or anything like that. It just passes through. If they do, everything is in there with your name on it. At that point, it's like I said, it's like any other medication, cholesterol medication, heart medication.
What would happen for somebody if they want to take? They're going overseas and it's like, I don't want to take it. I want to stop for 2 weeks. What's the recommendation?
Ugh. So you just got to be understandable that your levels are going to be crashing down. So the longer you're off it, the probably worse you're going to start feeling at the end. 2 weeks, I would say, from your shot, you're going to be at the bottom of the barrel, in those lower numbers. So just take that in consideration. So whatever you're doing, let's say you do want to stop, you want to go, there are oral troches that you can take too for testosterone.
So there is change ups and protocol that you could do to change it and make it a little easier to travel.
Yeah, I literally have soldiers out in Afghanistan and stuff like that they couldn't do injectables out there, so everything would be troche, whatever they did. So at that point, they could be on the move, they could take the medication and be on regimen and be ready to go, swiveling left and right.
See, that's experience. I wouldn't even have thought of that.
Yeah.
But how many military guys are probably on something to help them keep their levels up at their age, and they gotta be freaking on. You don't get no off button out there. That's a different world.
Definitely not.
I
They
appreciate
training stuff out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, those guys are the ultimate savages. And to go, hey, I'm going over there for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I could imagine their numbers would drop and they would not feel the same. So that's great. That's good insight.
Absolutely. Really
Jeff.
cool.
A couple people want to know if they want to get their blood work done for you guys, do they have to ask for a specific test or certain tests?
That's
or
great.
is it an all-in-one?
Okay, so yeah, they're asking, they would like to get blood work. Is there something they need to ask for, or do you set up the protocol for the people?
So it's pretty much set up. You call up and say, listen, I want to get set up for blood work. We already have our set tests of what we do for a male and for a female right off the bat. And we can list those tests, and you guys can list those.
So they can go in blind in a sense.
Yeah.
And again, they don't have to do anything. But the
Yes.
main thing, like I think we both preach, is that getting your blood work at least shows you what you're working with.
Yep.
And that's the smartest thing. And so to answer your guys' questions, there is a protocol that they have in place. And that way it makes you guys understand everything that's going on in their body, both female and male,
Right.
to understand where there may be issues or what is not an issue.
That's correct. I mean, it's going to cover your basics like your CMP, comprehensive metabolic panel. So that's basically liver, kidneys, electrolytes. It's going to do a complete blood cell count. So that's your white blood cell count. So if there's an infection or something going on, you see what's going on. Red blood cell count, hemoglobin, hematocrit. And these are vital if you're checking things like if somebody's on testosterone to see what their levels are looking like. For a guy, it's going to be a PSA to check where the prostate levels are. We want to check out that, make sure that's good. You're also going to get a full cholesterol panel with HDL, LDL, total cholesterol, triglycerides, and the ratio. You're also going to get a full thyroid panel, TSH, T3, T4.
This sounds expensive. This sounds really expensive.
The price is the best part. Free and total testosterone levels, so we want to look at those. Estradiol levels for males. And then at that point, you're going to look at progesterone. And you also want to look at IGF-1 levels, insulin-like growth factor 1, which growth hormone turns into in the liver, and this is where you get all the benefits from. And then B12. That will be your basic panel for a male.
What would be the price for somebody that was going to sign up for the Titan Medical?
Sure. Usually it's $200, but for anybody to use, $150. And right now we do have a special for $130.
130 for
So
blood.
it's just
130 for all of that.
all those blood tests. Yeah, that's
Wow, it's like you don't. That's anybody can afford that.
You have no reason to say no. I can't check and see at least what's going on.
Yeah.
For 600.
Oh, all right. So they're talking about they've done blood work here before, and there was like in 600 or more.
Yeah.
So that's
How often would someone do blood work?
Okay. I think we've talked about that, but yeah, we can refresh these guys right now. How often do you recommend for somebody to do blood work that has started or has not started?
Usually every 3 to 6
Optimal living.
3 to 6 months, all the way. There are people that want to check it a little bit, like every month, every 2 months. They usually say 3 months because that's when the majority of things would change. So like it was a hemoglobin A1C, so you're testing if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. At that point, it's a 3-month change. It's a 3-month change. It's a 90-day change. So you got to at least wait 3 months to make sure that changes, for the good or for the bad. You can see that change, but it just really depends. If there's a problem, you want to check it every month, maybe. At that point, just to make sure that problem is subsided, you've taken care of it, and you're good to go. And then you don't have to check it as much. But for an average patient, 3 to 6 months. And if you're a testosterone replacement patient with us, you're going to check it at least every 6 months.
So twice a year.
Twice a year for sure.
Easy enough.
100%.
Very easy. Good question, Mo. Look at you bringing it. Jeffrey,
Yeah, people are loving 130.
they're loving that.
Yeah,
It's
and they're saying that a couple of these people are going to other spots, and they're saying it's
more expensive than that.
Yeah.
This is a great panel. So just again, you guys, you can find this link. I'll put up a link in my story for you guys to get over there.
So I purposely have the most inexpensive blood testing in the country.
Why is that?
Well, I don't want to hit home runs off patients on blood work. The whole point for blood work is to make sure to see what's going on. You can't really help somebody unless you see what's going on. They don't really understand what's going on until they see it on paper. And then you got all kinds of people out there, like competitors and stuff like that. They don't have a lot of money. So this gets put to the wayside. Like, I don't care about what's going on inside. You just, get where I need to get supplement-wise and go on my living. So
Seems again to me, from looking outside, looking at the company, it seems like you're like, I want to help people. I want to get them in there, get the blood work, make it very inexpensive for anybody. Anyone can afford that. And then on top of it, it's the baby steps with any kind of medication. And you're not throwing them the whole house, kitchen sink, and fridge and all this stuff down them, saying you got to do this large laundry list.
Right.
And I've had incredible athletes come back to me and say, well, why would this company tell me to do a list like this when I'm 28 years old and I'm healthy and I'm all this, and I'm like,
Right.
that is not for me to say, my friend. Everybody runs it differently, and I just really like how you guys are doing that. And you guys are just going just baby steps, little steps. We can check it again in 3 months and see what it is.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. And we can go more in depth. That's a pretty in-depth panel for blood work. And that's the guys panel. So for the girls, it's usually 300. We do it for 200 for the females, 225, but right now it's 200. And the only difference is there's more testing. So there's a DHEA panel that's involved in a female test. And there's also a total estrogen that's involved in their test too as well. For guys, we don't really have to worry about estrone and total estrogens, but we need to worry about
I know a couple of guys that need to worry about estrogen. Sorry, I'm in LA.
Estradiol for sure. I mean, we definitely got to look at that. I'm sure tons of people out there in LA, and I'm sure here in Florida too. We got parts, but for that, we want to look at estradiol. Now, you had a question before about estradiol sensitive and estradiol. So that's the big thing out there. People take this to extreme levels and the differences and all that. Well, if you really run a Pepsi challenge on it, you can run an estradiol and estradiol sensitive together in the same blood test. So you got the exact same blood going through. And you can see what the number difference is. And we're going to do this on your next panel, just so you can see what it is. But there's really not a big difference when we're running the tests.
Why would they want both? What would be if it's not your opinion, what would their opinion be on why they do both? Because they're so sensitive?
I've never seen, I don't know anybody that would want to run both tests complacently, like just, hey, this is what we need to do as our protocol. But there are people out there like, you need estradiol sensitive instead of estradiol. Well, why? You need to be really specific and really exact what it is at this point in time. Okay, I can understand that. But is the difference going to be that big? Because some people like the way they're getting blood testing out there. Like I've seen other places, they charge an arm and a leg for some of these tests. So at that point, yeah, I mean, the one estradiol sensitive is more than estradiol, which it shouldn't be any more money. It's the exact same cost. So at that point, they should be able to run that if they want to run that. But if you're looking at it in the way of, I need estradiol sensitive, you don't need estradiol sensitive. Estradiol is going to be fine unless you really, truly are estrogen sensitive as far as receptor wise and aromatizing real quick. And then we can look at it maybe both ways. But one way or the other is going to be fine.
I have one more big question for you. Because I've seen the facility and I've seen how well it is set up, I am privileged, I guess you would say, to know that you are going down and bringing into the office PRP.
Yeah.
Is there a time that you're looking at that maybe that will be in-house?
So I'm looking at the next 3 to 6 months just to make sure I have the right provider, because that's the big thing, the injector. I can bring 1 million people in that can do PRP, but do they do it? That's the big thing. Because if we're going to do PRP, we're going to start injecting in some different spots. So you're talking about knees, you're talking about elbows, anywhere pretty much, and then hair. So it's a big thing for PRP and hair loss for females and males out there. It's a big demand. But somebody really needs to know what they're doing. So it's just sticking somebody's head, and them doing something wrong, and then it comes back to us and kicking us in the butt.
Because I'm up here in LA, and so a lot of the people are going into Tijuana and doing the PRP to the face and hair.
Really?
Yeah, they're jumping the borders. Reminds me of the 90s, or it's like they're going down and just going for it. And they're like, "Come with, man." I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to get this done in Tijuana.
No, I wouldn't do that either. If you can't come to Titan Medical Center to get PRP done, we do have it. It should be fairly kind of inexpensive where you do find it. Because PRP, all it is out there, if anybody doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, explain this to them.
Sure. So you get PRP. So these are platelets, plasma enriched. And what they do is you get it from your bloodstream. So somebody comes in, they draw your blood like normal. They get the blood, they take it back, and they spin the blood. When they spin the blood, they'll get this like yellow, awesome liquid that comes to the top. And that's the plasma enriched platelets. So those are what you want. You pull those out, and they're going to start injecting them wherever they need to. So they can do the head, they can do shoulder, whatever it may be. And this is supposed to help repair or revitalize the areas. And this is your own platelets, so this is natural to your body. There's nothing that's foreign to your body, and this should be very acceptable and should help in a number of different ways of however you want to use it. So that's all it is. So usually, I've seen treatments around here with $300 to $500, but I still think it's kind of expensive. But those are usually a pretty good cost, and it depends on your area, right? You go to Beverly Hills, you're probably charging $1,000, $2,000 for this stuff. I don't know, but some different areas you can probably.
I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm glad this will be something, even an extra bump that the Titan Medical Center will be having there in Florida. So I'm loving that aspect.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this. I do want to let and see if this is good with you.
Sure.
I would like to go over with the girls next week
Sure.
about thyroid,
Yes.
especially
hormones in general.
hormones, thyroid, and go over all this. Most like it. Get me loaded up. Give me some TRT.
Gotcha. Sharice, you're on next week.
Mona doesn't want to wait. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man. Johnny, thank you as always, brother, doing this for us.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys for having me again. I'll see you guys next week.
I'll see you next week, brother.
All right.
Awesome information for you guys. Is there any final last questions? Because I think you guys need to run on over to Titan Medical and touch base with them.
Sign up for that 130.
Just sign up for the 130. Come on now. That's ridiculous.
130 is really ridiculous. And not only are you getting the blood test, but you're getting to talk to them. They actually get to talk to somebody with that. Other questions? We got a lot of just general fitness related questions.
Go for it.
Yeah.
What?
Now we're talking about mine. I'm gonna get mine since I'm hopping on mine.
You want to sit in for a second? Use the cursor? Yeah.
Am I allowed? Yeah, because they want to see somebody shredded. That is not on TRT. That's about to get on TRT. I've been asking. I need, dude. I don't even know if I need it anymore.
We all.
I do.
Yeah.
I did triceps today. I gotta do biceps. So I got my workout in today, guys. What's going on? Is this on everywhere?
That's everywhere.
Oh.
Everywhere.
You know who
Oh.
really likes it when you flex your TikTok. Give
TikTok.
a little love.
Here, TikTok.
Yeah.
I got
Ooh,
something
don't
for
be
you.
shy. Give me the
Do you
other arm,
see-
too.
Do you see the insertions?
Ooh.
Come on now. This is for TikTok.
Baby on her.
No TikTok love,
Yeah.
of course.
Why grip pull downs? If you struggle, I see somebody here saying that they struggle with wide grip pull downs.
What
My
was it?
arms
What's the
burn
deal?
out and I don't really feel like in my back. Well, first of all, you got no mind to muscle connection whatsoever. So here's what I would do.
Get it.
I would do wide grip pull downs on every back workout, like literally. And I would concentrate on the negatives. So when you pull down,
Okay.
right, going back up, just hold slowly. I'm just flexing here. And let it go. I would pull down, hold slowly. That's the negative right there. I will concentrate on that. And I would go heavy because that's the mind to muscle connection. I love working on my negatives always. Doesn't matter what body part it is. So that answers your question. And you find your weakness, right? So now beat the shit out of it until you get good at it. That's what I do.
Chat went wild when
I'm
you did
just
the flex stuff.
right? Look at me. No makeup, hair is up, mom hair. That's what happens when you got so much stuff on the plate. But it is
Get out of here.
1:00. Tell Bobo to go do his claims.
Cool.
Uh,
Work done.
it's 10 to 1, and I feel like I did so much already. We still get some stuff to do. You know, we're traveling this weekend, right? We're leaving tomorrow night.
I understand that that is correct.
And so we have to do the online clients one-on-ones. If you are requested to check in and you didn't check in by last night, you're doomed because Mike is going to get on here right after this live and finish his one-on-ones.
Sounds good.
I just created a schedule for Mike. And then we're bringing time with us, and we are getting ready to pack our food. Keep it in mind, guys. Nutrition here, training here, nutrition here. Number one, you cannot, and we talked about this, the nutrition this morning, because Mike has changed his nutrition a little bit. I said we cannot miss a meal. It doesn't matter what. I know we have a gym there. It doesn't matter how we feel about the workouts, but nutrition is key. So I'm gonna make sure everything is packed so we could take with us. So it's a lot on the plate, but no
do you got
complaints
here?
here. I don't have.
What do you got there?
I just
What was
answered one
this,
of the
Mike, when you're
questions.
here down in Flex?
Bobo. He's gonna be here
That
tomorrow
poor
night.
guy.
I'm gonna kick him right in cojones when he gets here. Yeah. He just left our house in Ohio.
Did he?
Yeah. He texted me and he said,
Did
arm
he
the
get the
house.
webcam set up?
Did he clean up?
I don't know. He
Did he
said
wash the
he said
sheets?
arm the house. And I remember the last time he said that, Mike said, arm. I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
Turn that alarm on.
You cut sugar out.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by sugar.
I do cut sugar out because I watch my the
Right,
diabetes in my family. It's like woo blooming.
Such a weird
So-
statement because
Yeah.
when they say, "Do you cut sugar out?" Does that mean like? To me, it means sweets.
Yeah.
You're not eating
It doesn't mean
sweets
carbohydrates
in
because you'll say, "Do you
No,
cut
no,
your
no.
carbs down?"
No,
general.
no,
For
no.
some people,
It's
like,
just
They
sweets,
say-
cakes, candy, ice cream, sweets, cookies.
yeah,
But you're not
What
eating
does he
that
mean?
anyway. So
I don't know, because some people get weird about like fruit and shit. They think,
I agree.
yeah, it's like,
Oh, that's bad.
yeah, oh, you had an orange, dude? No, dude, no, sugar Snickers bar.
But that's our question. Is like, wait a minute, what do you mean by sugar? We don't eat. We're not babies. We're not eating ice cream and
Yeah.
M and M's.
That's-
It's like,
Yeah, I am.
yeah, but you're a genetic
Just had
freak.
One of those, yeah.
You just
good.
had one of those?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is fire.
yeah,
How should a teenager under 18 years old recover?
Jeez, you don't have to worry about
Right.
recovering.
Uh-huh.
You're 18.
Holy crap!
Take a
You're
nap.
18. You should be training 6 days a week,
You know, at 18,
twice a day.
I'd fall off the building, fall off the half
Hey, you
pipe,
break a leg, it grows back in a week.
right?
Yeah, when I was 18, I used to bartend, and then I would finish my bartending at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I would go straight to the diner in New York, have some breakfast, go to the nail salon, and get my nails done. We used to break night with little Mona.
Have a full night of drinking,
All
go to
the
work
time,
in the morning.
yeah.
I when I got here, I put together 10,000 before moving. And I said, okay,
Mhm.
I'm going to live off this the first year, whatever it is, get a job. And I had the endorsement with Weeder.
Mhm.
I got here, went right over and signed up with the company to do personal training. So I was
Right.
personal training at Golds.
Mhm.
I was training, working out at 4 a.m. I went and found security bouncing because I was young. So, 21-year-old kid, you want to be out a little bit. So I was bouncing.
You were out, but you were
yeah,
working while you
but
were
I was
out.
making money, so I didn't have
Same
to.
here.
But it was, you
Yeah.
worked till 2. I would drive to the gym. I'd sleep for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'd go work out and I'd train clients. I'd go
Mhm.
home, take a nap, go back to work. It just didn't stop.
Good. How many of you are from New York? Come on now, Astoria,
I
Queens,
couldn't do that
New
schedule
York.
now. I'm saying that that's a young,
Yeah.
motivated
Mhm.
21-year-old.
Gosh,
Last questions.
I don't see anything. Best, beautiful, healthy. Okay. Nope.
What's that?
I'm looking.
Hey, Mike, considering buying your at-home dumbbell program, would a pair of spin lock dumbbells going up to 50 pounds be enough?
That
Get
would
started.
be, yeah, great question. So someone's thinking about doing my home workout, and yes, the basic dumbbells up to 50 pounds would be sufficient. You will get a sick workout.
Yeah.
You don't know what this was?
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I've been going to the gym for a few months, and in the last few weeks, I noticed that I wasn't getting any more pumps. Do you know what can I do to be reason for this? So what's the reason for this?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the nutrition.
Nutrition. I'd also say it's one that if John was here would have been good too, because it could be some things on the blood work that are off, that are
Yeah. How old are you? Also,
I know if you're like really insulin sensitive, you won't get those
Yeah.
pumps anymore.
How was your training change at your age?
more volume with the compounds. So, like yesterday, it was 8, and this morning it was 6.
6.
So it's a lot of compound movements, but a lot more sets. And we were trying to do an analyzation. Well, I'm just making up a word. um, on high reps, moderate weight compared to low reps, poundage. And it's great to see that continuous training smart
This is
wins.
for Serge. Do you have any advice for a beginner personal trainer to not only be happy but have a successful career in the industry?
Love what you do. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, love what you do and you never work a day in your life,
You treat it as a 9 to 5, you will not laugh.
right?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's coming from the best trainer at Gold's Gym Venice.
That's
He
right.
doesn't need to put celebrity trainer in front of
No,
his
no.
name.
I make celebrities out train them.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's gonna be my slogan.
Yeah, that is.
like that,
Should
yeah.
be.
Oh yeah. Hi Mike. What is this one? Hi Mike. What things do I ask them to test for my blood?
That
I
they
am
already
55. Okay, so you already
they,
talked
they,
about
they
that.
already
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully you got that
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
That was the question. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that
Thank
was
you.
the question.
What?
Jeremy Davis, I'm not concerned about ED, but I've been meaning to get blood work forever as I approach 45. Jeremy, 1:30. Let's go. Promotion. And make sure if you guys go, tell them that the Titan, Michael Hearn send you. That's right. You might get a little extra something. Okay.
Nothing.
My 12-year-old daughter just competed her third powerlifting contest this weekend,
Wow.
Youth Nationals in Phoenix. She needs work in her squat. It's her weakest lift. What suggestions do you have for her next prep?
There you go. That's a good one. What a
It's
kid.
great. First off,
She's 12.
congratulations, man. I can imagine how proud you are as a parent. Man, I would need to know how she's training her squats and her form right now to give you any insight. But again, I would kind of worry about holding it at the bottom because at that age, there's got to be. I wouldn't train it like you're 25 years old or 20 years old. She's still very, very young. So
12. Jeez.
yeah, I would rather her being a lot of more pause in the hole with her squats instead of just dropping in and dropping out. And that way you could actually take the weight down a little bit and still get the benefit. Hopefully that helps you and you guys try that out. Yeah, neck. What is that? 21 inches?
Pull the tape off.
Let's measure that neck right now.
Yeah, right?
Try to headlock me. You ain't getting nothing.
Jumping.
You ain't getting nothing.
I get it. See?
I get something. See, it worked.
How do I retain flexibility while still building muscles in the upper body?
Oh, just stretch. Just continue to stretch.
Simple.
Keep your range of motion. And you're doing that when you're lifting. You're lifting in such a good range of motion, so it's going to keep your flexibility. I wouldn't do a short range. I see these guys. A thing that a lot of these guys do is these short little pump. They don't lock it out and they don't bring it all the way out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, last one. Give me a good one. Hit this out of the park.
Jeez. This one's good. It's a little lengthy though. Maybe we can cut it down. What would you say are the most top 10 essential exercises for bodybuilding? That's big.
For bodybuilding,
Yeah.
incline bench, shoulder press, bent over rows, squats.
That works.
I would go leg curls, line leg curls. Get the calves in there. Got to be complete. straight bar curl, and close grip tricep, close grip bench for triceps. So that way you're not, the one thing you're going to notice on a lot of guys that you meet in person that look ginormous is I want you to be that 3D, that I want you to be thick.
Mhm.
And the guy Wally that was just here, you see him, he's shapely, he's big, but he's thick. And that's what you want. So those are the exercises there.
Big boy. Big boy.
Serge, you want to
All
add
right.
one last one?
We keep saying last one.
That's the last one. We're out.
That was the last one.
See you guys.